Did you scoot up a little bit?
Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Bent with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I say on every episode, we got a great one for you. We
have the Nashvillains. They are an incredibly talented group made up of Nashville songwriters and producers Brett Boyette, Troy Johnson, and Scott Lindsay. On May 14th, the band released a track, Who Don't, which is written by the late Andrew Dorff, Old Dominion's Brad Tersey, and Corey Crowder, and is produced by Andrew's father, Steve Dorff.
That's right. All of that is correct.
Yeah. And we're excited to have y'all on. So
yes,
welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Well, thank you guys. We're really happy to be here.
Yeah.
You know what's cool about the connection here is we're doing next year in Nashville 40 over 40 event where they have these 30 under 30s, 40 under 40s. Well, nobody recognizes our generation.
That's true.
The 40 over 40. So we're doing a 40 over 40 charity event to recognize the top 40 professionals in Nashville.
Yes.
And the charity that we pick that we're partnering with is actually Steve Dorff's one with Andrew Dorff.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's great.
Very cool.
So small world.
So small world. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes.
Oh yeah. This is definitely a small town for sure.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So as we get started here, as you know, COVID has affected everybody in different ways.
Oh,
how has it affected y'all, and what have you done to maneuver through this crazy new maze?
Well, we've not been able to play out.
Yeah. We've done a lot of social media presence stuff, a lot more live streaming, like this kind of thing. Some writing, some more production stuff. But I would say a lot of our social media stuff has spawned from COVID.
Yeah, I mean, just like everybody else, we've had to learn how to do this online, and it's been there's pros and cons, but all in all, I've enjoyed it. Having to, I think what it does overall, not just us, but the overall ecosystem, it has now provided us with a new income stream that, or at least a new avenue
that you didn't have before,
that you didn't necessarily, do before. So, once everything opens up and everybody's back live, I don't think they're going to stop.
I was about to say income stream. You've been seeing income.
Well, as you know, a lot of people are doing these online concerts when you pay $20 to participate. So I can see that things open up.
All these guys.
So I think if things open up, what you're going to do is you're going to have your live show set up, but then you're going to have your live concert where, hey, for $5, join in with us.
Exactly. It's just going to be tacked on to whatever you traditionally did in the past.
Yeah.
That's just like for us. We started the show January of 2020 and a couple months before COVID. And I remember thinking our original plan was 100 interviews our first year. And we thought if we could do that, that would be a lot. Yeah. And we thought that was pushing it. And then COVID happens.
Right.
And I remember telling Sandy, I was like, this could actually be a silver lining for our show. Because, people that normally are too busy to come on a brand new show are not busy right now.
Now you're picking the litter.
And all of a sudden, we started getting people like your Randy Travis's, Sarah Evans,
Tennille Arts, Lee Bryce,
and I mean, tomorrow we've got Brian Luttrell from the Backstreet Boys coming on.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, this started happening, and instead of doing 100 interviews last year, we end up doing 300 because of that.
Wow. Well, we are honored to be part of that group for sure.
We're honored to have y'all on too.
Yes, we are.
And now when did y'all know? A lot of people would ask, when did you know you wanted to do music? But I always like to go deeper than that. When did it click that this could be a career move for y'all?
For y'all, for us individually, I'd assume. Well, I mean, me personally, I have always, since I was 5 years old, since I can remember, I've always sang. I've sang in the car, I sang in the shower, I sang myself to sleep, I sang in school, it was just all part of it. I couldn't not go 5 minutes without singing something. In fact, one of the stories that my mom likes to tell is when I was in elementary school, I went to a private Christian school when I was really young, and the bathrooms were actually in the classroom. There were, it was at a church, and the bathrooms were in the classroom. So when you raised your hand to go to the bathroom, you just walked to the back of the class, and there you were. For better or worse, I don't know why they did that, but when I got in there, the acoustics in there were just amazing. I would sing, and my voice would reverberate, and so I would just get louder and louder and louder as I sang. I was probably 6, 7, and at some point, and I would lose my sense of time. And so there were many times the teacher had to knock on the door, say, "Troy, are you done?" and bring me back to earth. So
that's why the vocal booth in his studio has a toilet in it.
Yeah, it's just a measure of
it all makes sense now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it just makes me feel comfortable. Yeah, I track my guitars on the throne. But no, anyway, so that to say, I've just always done it. I've always, so as far as it clicking, it was just so much a part of my life that I didn't do anything else. I started playing piano. I started playing guitar. I would start write songs when I was in high school. So, you know, my parents looked for avenues, and they were musicians as well. So they didn't, you know, they encouraged me to pursue that career. You know, knowing full well that it'd be nice to have something to fall back on, but we all know how that goes when it comes to parenting, you know, creative. But anyway, so when it came to going to school, we found a college that sort of, you know, encompassed. I went to Belmont here in Nashville, right up the street. We're on Music Row right now. And so they had a business program, and I thought it would be good to find out. They had a music program and a music business program, and I chose the music business route. One, because I didn't have to audition for it. I was afraid to get it. But the other thing is, you know, the rationale to do that was to learn about the business so that you know, I wouldn't get quote unquote taken, which is, you know, knowing what I know now, that's really not a fear. Fear. But anyway, so yeah, I've just always done it. I've just never really done anything else.
You want to go next?
Sure. I guess when I decided I was going to do this professionally, I guess the first time I was graduating college, I was hanging out with a friend of mine in college, and his dad used to play. His stepdad played guitar and bass for George Jones and Tammy Wynette.
Oh, wow.
And I had been playing all over Texas and country bands and stuff, and I had a handful of songs I had written, and he had me play them for his stepdad and James Hawley, who just passed away a couple weeks ago. But James is like, "Man, you need to move to Nashville and be a writer."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Really? I mean, you think they're any good?" Because I was in college for forensic archaeology. You know, and journalism. I was doubling with journalism, and I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "I don't think my parents are going to be very happy about this." But you know, but I decided to do it because I just loved country music so much, and I loved playing and loved writing, and moved here. And then the second time, I was in Nashville for about 4 years. I moved to New York City. And then I had my cousin was on Broadway with Steve Dorff's wife at the time, his ex-wife Lori, and they were in a show called Crazy for You. And she gave Steve, my cousin gave Lori, who gave to Steve, a disc of my music. And Steve actually contacted me and said, "Hey, would you want to move to Los Angeles?"
That's great. Wow. Peeling the onion we haven't heard yet.
Yeah, that's great. And he said, "Do you want to move to Los Angeles and work for me?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." I was a big fan of his from the George Strait movie, Pure Country.
Yeah.
And all the other hits he's written. And I was like, "Well, yeah, this is a chance to learn from, you know, one of the legends of writers in this town." And so I did that, and I was like, "Well, but I've never thought of getting into TV." And that was the first TV show I ever did, was with him. I was his music editor, and I worked on Reba with him with the actual first show I ever did. And then I started doing a bunch of shows and ended up getting stuff for my own commercials and movies and TV shows and stuff, and writing for other artists, and then ended up getting a movie and meeting these guys and moving back to Nashville. So,
Awesome.
All right. Well, much like
top that.
Yeah.
It's not a competition, Chris.
You're gonna get in trouble here.
Much like Troy, I was raised around music. I'm from a place called Beaver Dam, Kentucky. And Bill Monroe is from like 5 miles down the road. Place called
wow.
We had a lot of bluegrassers around all the time. And my dad's a singer-songwriter. He used to write with a guy named Tommy Collins, who Roots of My Razor Run Deep for Merle Haggard. And I don't know if you ever heard the song When Leonard Finally Came to California. When Leonard Finally Came to California.
That rings a bell. Yeah.
That's about Tommy. His real name.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So anyway, Dad was always around him, and we were around Johnny Russell a lot. And so we would come to town all the time. So I got my feet wet with songwriting then. You know, I'd write my little "I love you" and "You love me" kind of things, and bring it in there.
When you were 8,
you know, when I was
You're
8
still
years
writing
old.
that.
Yeah, that's it. That's my best work. No, but they would critique it and send me back to my room, and you know, so I got a good songwriting lesson from the get go. But I caught the bug then, and Dad was always in honky bands and always performing, and I was always around the bluegrass pickers, and so I never really knew any better. You know, I thought everybody played music and basketball and baseball. You know,
yeah, right.
So so when at 18 years old, I came to Belmont, and I studied classical and jazz guitar, so I had to audition, unlike Troy.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, from there, I was at Belmont about 2 years, and took off on the road playing for other people, and I was always writing, and I had a song. I got a record deal, and I had a song out called "You Only Call Me When You're Drunk." It made some noise for me, and it was top 40 for about 10 weeks.
Wow, awesome!
And it took me all over the country a couple of times, and I came home from that, and I was just lost that record deal. And
well, the company sort of dissolved, right?
The company dissolved.
And that's kind of a known story.
Yeah. Not that I lost the record deal. They just, you know, the main investor put his money elsewhere.
The investors start realizing it's the music industry.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Wait a minute. Return.
Yeah, this is perfect lead in to where we was about to go anyway, because you know, as you know, a lot of people, they see the glory of like a Blake Shelton, Miranda, Carey, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles that it takes, not just to get to their level, but even a career level within the music industry. And I always want to talk about this because I think a lot of people sugarcoat this and gloss over it because they want the fame, you know, without the work and all that, but it doesn't work that way. So let's talk about that side of it a little bit. Tell us about some of the sacrifices and struggles y'all went through that even get to where you are already.
Well, it's just a matter of time. I think the sacrifice you make is just the time you spend doing it. Just like any other creative endeavor, you know, the more time you spend doing it, the better you get. So,
and people at Blake Shelton and those guys' level, I mean, they still sacrifice their time.
You are sacrificing.
And the work never goes away, no matter.
I
matter the level of fame.
Part of the reason what people don't realize, especially in Nashville, and it's changed a little bit, but through the 80s and 90s and even the 70s, I guess, but. You could be, you know, for every Blake Shelton, there's like 20 people that are right behind him helping him do what he does. I mean, there's 20 songwriters that are on the record that he made. So, you know, throughout the heyday of country music, you could be an unknown songwriter. I mean, you'd be known in the songwriting community.
And make a lot of money still.
Yeah, you could make money. You wouldn't even have to have a single on the radio. You could have a couple of, you know, maybe 3 or 4 cuts on different records coming out over the year, and you could make 6 figures just just doing that.
Yeah.
Right. And that's changed a whole bunch because people aren't buying records like that anymore.
No,
so that's what's been the biggest paradigm shift when the internet started sort of changing the world. The idea of that all of that changed. And so for the songwriter now, for the what I call journeyman, for the journeyman of the music industry, especially in Nashville, because it's always been such a mechanical. There's the machine of Nashville has been so it's a well-oiled machine. Yeah. You have the songwriters, you have the pluggers, you have the A&R, you have the artist. I mean, the machine of the publishers. And for the longest time, the publishers were the power because that's all the money funneled into them. With now, all the money funnels into the label and really changed the way the way the machine works. And it's almost gone back to the 40s and 50s where the biggest income stream of an artist is their live performance.
Yeah. And then COVID happens.
COVID happens, yeah.
But,
right. So yes, that really put a wrench in the machine.
But as far as sacrifices and stuff, I mean, like for me, I moved all over the country. There's stuff like that. There's time away from family. That happens a lot. We have kids. There's you spend time away from your kids, working late nights at the studios and working on records, and also another thing I think is pretty true for what we do. Like for me, I graduated from college and high school friends and stuff. I see a lot of them going up the ranks and their chosen 9-to-5 jobs.
Yeah.
It takes a long time for this. I mean, you can get lucky and get something early, but a lot of times you're here.
But they call it a 10-year city, right?
Yeah, and it's hard. It's really hard. And you have to be creative and find other ways to make a living while that's happening.
The biggest difference between there's not a lot of difference in endeavors. I mean, any endeavor you take is your sacrifice is going to be time.
Right.
That's just the difference between the music industry and the other 9-to-5ers is you don't have a
time clock.
You don't have you're not guaranteed
anything
at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Well, right. And you're going to spend a lot of times, especially when people just move to town, they write 5 days a week and they have no publisher. And they're just trying to get to the publishing level.
Right.
So they're writing 5 days a week for free.
Right. But I will say, you view it as a sacrifice. When you do this and you're younger and you're doing this, I never viewed anything I did as a sacrifice. It was a passion I wanted to do. I made myself go to, I didn't really make myself. This is what you had to do. You go to, you play your songs, you start meeting people. It never, I mean, it's easier to, I wasn't married with kids back then, but you never view it as a sacrifice. It's just what you do.
No, it's something you have to love. I mean, the love has got to be there, or you won't give up the time.
Yeah, it's only older that you start viewing it as a sacrifice.
We get exactly what you're saying too, because because even with this show, we launched 16 months ago, and of course the show don't make money yet, but the plan is to be a Bobby Bones, a Ty Bentley, a Kelly Clarkson show. So that we've got the same dreams that y'all have, just a different platform. So we totally get where you're coming from, because we're putting in 30, 40, 50 hours a week trying to make this show alive.
And
we have a side job to keep us afloat in the evening. So we're trying to balance all this.
Two kids. Young kids.
Well, I think what keeps us afloat is we all wear different hats. I mean, the band is something we're trying to pursue, and to keep going, we do other things. Luckily, thankfully, we're doing them in the music industry. We've each developed a career that can sustain us. So anyway,
sure.
So y'all gonna perform a song for us, right?
We sure are.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about the song, and the floor is yours.
Well, we'll do our current single, which is called "Who Don't,"
because it's all about the business.
It's all about
Yes.
The business and the Benjamins.
But this song is the one that Andrew Dorff wrote with Brad Tersey and Corey Crowder, and Steve produced, and Steve Dorff produced, and we're gonna see if we can do it right.
Well, I have every confidence we can do it right. 1, 2, 3, and. I got boots good and broken. I like to laugh at a dirty joke. I like to drive on an open road with the radio up, little friends alone. Who don't? Yeah, who don't? I like to talk to God on Sundays, head on home and watch the ball game. I like a bed, I like a bar. I like to stay to the after party. Who don't? Yeah, who don't? Yeah, it's cool, 'cause it's cool. Never gets old, 'cause good shit don't go out of style. I don't like a pretty girl smile. Who don't like to get wild? It's smooth, 'cause it's smooth. Goes down easy for a reason. I like a little something too hot to hold. I like beer ice cold, but hey, who don't? Yeah, who don't? I like money and I like loving, and it don't hurt to have a whole lot of it. I like the water, I like a boat, I like the whole damn maid. Who don't? Yeah, who don't like a little bit of rock and roll? It's cool, it's cool. Never gets old, 'cause good shit don't go out of style. I don't like a pretty girl smile. Who don't like to get wild? It's smooth, 'cause it's smooth. Goes down easy for a reason. I like a little something too hot to hold. I like beer ice cold, but hey, who don't like a high? Who don't like a rush? Who don't like doing something bad? They never do, just one. Yeah, it's cool, 'cause it's cool. Never gets old, 'cause good shit don't go out of style. I don't like a pretty girl smile. Who don't like to get wild? It's smooth, 'cause it's smooth. It goes down easy for a reason. I like a little something too hot to hold. I like beer ice cold, but hey, you don't. Oh yeah. Tell me who you know. Oh, come on.
What a fun song.
Thank you.
Great job.
Just love it that people get to perform on our show.
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
So, as y'all know, a lot of people, they see the artist, but they don't see the teams that make the artist. And
Right.
in our opinion, they don't get the love they deserve.
No, they
So
don't.
if you want to take a few moments just to tell us about the teams that help y'all be who you are.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
We have Fate Entertainment is our record label. Karen Clark is over
Karen!
there. Boss lady.
Boss lady.
And we've got Charles Alexander at Systemic, and Abby over there. We've got Jen
Yeah.
Littleton.
Yeah.
And
She sort of runs the label.
yeah, and we've got Aristo, obviously our
They're awesome.
Oh, they're amazing.
great.
Yeah.
He is amazing. What else?
I think that, I mean,
You know
we
what?
have
And
video,
you have each other.
and we
Yeah.
got two guys named Justin. They're both named Justin.
I
We
would
got-
also say,
wow.
by the way, I would also say the musicians that play with us,
Mhm.
the people that play on our records, they never get enough credit. I agree with you on that as well. Like the session guys,
Mhm.
Yes.
Rock, Saul played with us. We had Sean Hurley, and
Evan played drums.
Victor and Drizzo, Evan Hutchins,
right?
And who else?
Well, I mean, the engineers.
Ilya Toshinsky.
Ilya, he puts together a good band all the time.
Yep.
And then there's us.
Yeah, there's a very, very small part of the Nashvillains.
And Billy Decker and Austin Stanley.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys. Yeah.
I tell you, that's the man who doesn't get enough credit is Austin.
Yeah, that guy.
Austin is the man. He's a beast.
What's he do?
Well, he what doesn't he do? He helps us out a lot. He works at Brett's studio where he has his studio, and Austin's always helping us out with technical stuff, and he mixes some of our social media stuff, and just is just always happy to help in any way he can.
Yeah, he's always there.
He's one of of all the ones we've mentioned, he's like one of the unsung heroes of what he does.
Speaking of teams, we have a third co-host that we bring on, our little 9-year-old.
Yes, Christopher.
Let's see.
Yes.
And and we've got a 2-year-old daughter that when she gets older, she'll be plugged into our show too.
Great.
Nice.
Very nice.
We are a family affair.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
You gotta love that.
When we first launched the show, I was like, how do we keep the family together? I know it's artists, it's tougher, but I was like, if we can do it, why not?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, even today, I mean, my parents are watching my kids today because we're here doing this all day. They're on summer break, so they're out of school.
Hey, Chris, is this live or is this?
Yeah, it's live.
Oh, cool. It's live. So we're not getting edited later on. That's great.
Oh, no.
I should have noticed it says live right there.
You got something you want to hit?
Yeah. There's a couple things we probably could have edited. Well, you never know. We've done a lot of these things. Hey, there he is.
Hi, Nashvillains. So, what's your favorite food?
Oh,
favorite food?
Good question.
He gets the good questions, right?
He does.
Man, whatever's on my plate's my favorite.
I would have to say, can't go wrong with French fries.
Can't go wrong with French fries, for sure.
I like a good old plate of spaghetti.
Oh, really?
That's my go-to, man.
Spaghetti is?
Yes.
Meat sauce?
Yes.
What do you put in sauce?
Just ragu or prego.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Meat though. That's my go-to meal.
Well, what's yours?
I'll store it. I can eat that all week.
Mine is pizza.
Oh,
That's the first thing that always pops into my head.
But
I tell you what, if I had if somebody told me I had a last meal, I think I would go with chicken fried steak. Right?
He's laughing because he's like only a head.
You know what? Maybe skins.
A tapas?
All right.
Well, it's nice meeting you, Christopher.
Good question.
So what's your favorite TV show?
TV show. Goodness gracious. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of TV shows that you probably can't even watch yet that I like.
You know what I just finished? My girlfriend and I just finished binging was Yellowstone. And that's a great series.
That's a really good one. But
I'm trying to think of something current.
Something that maybe he could watch.
Because what's yours?
Mine is SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah.
We used to love SpongeBob. I watch a lot of SpongeBob at the house.
Yes.
What's been cool, though, about this show is because we do artists and actors on the show. So he watches a lot of Nickelodeon shows. So we've been able to bring on quite a bit of Nickelodeon people onto our show.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great.
Cool. I'll work with a couple.
Okay, so what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie
of all time?
Yes.
I would probably say Raiders of the Lost Ark or Star Wars.
Oh, wow.
Not bad. Tombstone is a really good one.
That's a good one, too.
Tombstone I like a lot. Again, when I'm thinking of movies that you can't watch.
Yeah.
Grease. Love Grease.
Grease is a good one, man.
That's a good one.
Oh, that is a good one.
And what's yours?
Mine is the Minions movie.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, the Minions.
I was gonna say Grease has the worst message though.
Yeah.
Conform.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't think it's about conformity to be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was your age, Christopher, my mom wouldn't let me watch Grease.
That's funny.
Good girl turning bad.
Bye, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Bye.
Ronnie Newton John.
So your shirt.
Wait, yes.
Oh yeah, shirt blends in the green screen.
Got the chroma key going on there. Yeah.
You're a brick boy.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, he loves this part of the show, but sometimes we forget what color shirt he's wearing.
Yeah.
And then he blends into our green screen.
All good.
Yeah, he was wearing his Nashville shirt today, and it's sort of blue green, and it was
Wait a minute.
blending
Not a brick wall behind you?
Nope, this ain't real.
No.
So, if y'all, and I know y'all have done a lot of co-write, so if y'all could co-write with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Christofferson.
Oh, wow.
Oh yes.
John Lennon.
Oh, that'd be a
Oh,
good
that's a good one.
I think with John Lennon though, you'd just be the guy writing down lyrics.
That's cool.
one.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't know, Christopherson would be my top, but Troy said that. So other than that, I'd probably say Towns Van Zandt.
Yeah, good one. Willie Nelson
Oh, yeah. Well,
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
would be amazing.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He already wrote that one though.
I know. It's
So,
great.
as songwriters,
If you didn't write anything, it'd be a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All those
You know,
John Cash.
Anybody
as
from Traveling Wilburys, I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
Petty. I mean, I know he probably wrote all of his stuff by himself.
Petty, George Pippen, Roy Orbison.
Yeah.
All those guys. Yeah.
Lionel Richie.
Ah.
That actually was one of my heroes growing up was Lionel Richie.
wow.
Dozier.
Oh, yeah.
Lamont Dozier.
From Dozier Holland, all the guys who wrote all the Motown hits.
Oh, wow.
So, as songwriters,
Tim
there'll probably be
Pan-
1,000 answers to this, but what's a song you've heard recently that you wish y'all wrote?
Oh,
God's
goodness.
Country.
Ah,
Oh, that's a
I
great
Just putting that
I
up.
love that song, and it fits our style.
Oh
God's
gosh,
Country,
mine would
I
have to
think it's
be.
great.
Mine would have to be the what's that dude's name? Morgan Wallen's song. It was a couple years ago.
Glasses.
Yes, whiskey.
whiskey glasses. That's a
Oh,
great
my
song.
Gosh,
Mine would probably have to be Put That in Your Country song. Eric
oh,
Church.
yeah.
Ooh, we
I
love
we
Eric
that one
Church.
too.
Yeah, that's a
That
good
would
one.
be Dua Lipa.
No.
No. I don't know. I really.
Yeah.
Now we talked about this at one point too. One of my favorite songs is that. Yeah, I drive your truck.
Great song.
Oh yes,
It's
that's right.
many years old, but my goodness, I can't hear that in the car without tearing up, man. I just can't.
Right,
Yeah, we recently had Lee Bryce on the show.
we
Did you-
did.
What a great song.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah,
That's
Jimmy
a good
Erie
one.
and the team.
Yeah.
Awesome. You know, back in 2015, we got to interview Kelsey Ballerini before she was Kelsey, so to speak.
Yes, for sure. No.
One of the questions I asked her was where she wanted to be in 5 years. And I always like to tell this story before I ask the guest that same question because the answer Kelsey gave us almost around 6 years ago is almost to the T of what she's been living the last few years. So she
that's
knew,
great.
so she
Yeah,
knew
she
where
had
she was
planned out.
going.
That's
Knowing that, where do y'all want to go? I mean, in 5 years.
Oh, I would like to see this band be, first of all, gain an amazing amount of following. It'd be nice to tour the world, to have a cottage industry where we can generate music and have a community of fans that we interact with, and
I'd like to be
to keep playing music.
I'd like to be sitting on the beach somewhere, sipping margaritas, enjoying royalties.
Right. On a boat somewhere.
At the end of a tour.
Yeah.
At the end of a long
Yeah,
tour.
no, I think we'd love to be like headlining acts. I mean, we'd love to be a radio act with several number ones under our belt. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, with a movie about our life.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
For the world. That's what I want.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Nothing big.
Nothing. Yeah.
And if you could describe your music to someone who hasn't heard it yet, how would you describe it?
I'll let y'all take that one.
I would say I would say dark. Well, not dark. I would say outlaw country with a dark edge. Maybe almost like a cinematic spin on it.
I like that. Outlaw country with a dark edge. I like that. I think that sums it up.
Sums it up pretty good.
Got it. All right. And what would you like your legacy to be as artist? What would you like to be known and remembered for?
Goodness gracious, these are tough questions. Known for,
I would say, doing something different and having our own stamp on the music industry. I think to me that's really important to all three of us because we've all written contemporary country music and we love it. Yeah, and I think for this band, it's really important for us to do something different.
Yeah, well, 20 years from now, you want somebody to say, you know what, I really want to do something different, like the Nashvillains did.
Right.
Like we say, like Willie does, or like the Waylon does, or I mean, it'd be certainly cool to have that.
And maybe that's the answer.
Mystique.
Maybe the answer is we want the next group in 20 years to be speaking about how they wish they could have written a song with the Nashvillains.
Yeah.
Or
you definitely want to have that as your legacy for sure.
Yeah, you're talking about outlaw made me think of something. Nashvillains. So you've got the villain in y'all's name.
Yeah. See how that
works? So
you figured this out now, Chris. You got
it. Y'all just want to be the villain side of country, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
love that. So let's say that y'all had a friend of yours and you heard him or her sing, and they've got something special. As Simon Cowell would say, they have that it factor. But they've played maybe 40 or 50 shows, so they're still getting their feet wet on the performance side. So this would be pre-COVID advice, so keep that in mind. But they gotten on stage. They got what every artist says. That they get that stage bug where they're looking over the crowd and the crowd's roaring for them. They know they're in the right place, and they come to you and they say, I know I'm supposed to do this with the rest of my life. What advice would you give that specific person to help guide them the next couple of years?
They're already on stage playing to 10,000 people?
They've played 40 or 50 shows.
I don't think they need any advice from us.
No, I'm saying they've played 40 or 50 shows, so they're still getting their feet wet.
Small shows.
Oh, goodness gracious. 40 or 50 shows getting their feet wet. Keep doing what you're doing. I mean,
I would say which is really important to me is learn the business, learn how publishing works, learn how mechanical rights work, learn what you're doing and what you're doing for a job.
But I will say not everybody can do that. That's not everybody's strong suit. So if you know that you can't and don't even want to do that, find somebody you can trust that will do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, Brett says that because he's very business minded. He's very good at that. I'm not all that good at that, so I'm glad I got him. You know?
And just because the beer is free doesn't mean you got to drink all of them.
That's good advice.
That's good advice. Yeah, that's from personal experience, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, being that y'all are really crazy, it seems like I can tell y'all fun. What's a crazy thing that's happened to y'all on stage?
Oh. On stage.
Well, we haven't done a lot of stuff on stage as a band. I mean, I'm sure Scott's got some crazy stories.
I've got one.
Go ahead.
So when I used to perform at SMU in Dallas, the football players were all buddies of mine because I was the only person that knew metal songs, and they used to love that. So for some reason, they thought it was cool if they liked you, they'd show up in the crowd and they'd throw stuff at you.
So that meant they liked you.
They did. And
beer bottles and rocks.
No. Chris Ledoux kind of started this whole thing off. You remember, because I was a big Chris Ledoux fan, and he used to do a song called Copenhagen. They would all the audience would throw Copenhagen cans at him every time he would do that. So, anyways, I told all these guys that mistakenly, and then those guys all showed up at my show. They were throwing everything, boots, Skittles, I mean, whatever. But man, it was a great time. That was a lot of fun in that period of time. So
I don't know. The crazy story didn't come to mind. So let's just.
I've got several. I've got to filter through them. This is years ago. I played a lot of honky tonks all over the country. This was years ago at a place in Alabama, This is before the show even. We show up and we're setting up, and they've got like porch railing around the stage. I thought,
Yeah.
old black iron porch railing. I thought, man,
Oh my goodness.
that's odd and ugly
And dangerous.
Yeah, I was like,
Ooh.
so I asked the bar owner. I said, "Why you got the porch railing up around the stage?" He said, "Well, we had chicken wire, but it got tore down last week."
Yeah, I was about to
Oh, wow.
I was like, I turned to the band. I said, "Good night, boys."
So the porch railing was an accent to the chicken wire.
Yeah.
Oh,
Instead of
okay.
replacing the chicken wire, they just put porch railing up.
Oh my.
Wow.
No, we actually
You were
we had
good
no,
enough?
Yeah, we had no trouble at.
Oh, that's
You know?
good. That's good.
Thank God, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
I'm sure we can all come up with probably.
Oh yeah, I've got a few more.
Yeah,
but
me
we'll
too.
leave them there.
Anyways.
We'll leave those where they lie.
so as we come to a close here, what's next for y'all?
Next single, we have another single coming out after this one. We're going to ride this one for a while and see how far we can push it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna milk it for all it's worth.
We are, because we think it's a great song. I think it's a hit song. So we're going to try to push this as much as we possibly can with our team, and then after that, we'll be putting out a couple more singles and the full album.
Yeah, and I mean, we have a weekly show called the Nashvillains Happy Hour that we do on Facebook every Tuesday at 5:30.
All right.
Okay.
Later on today, we'll do that show, and please check us out on Facebook Live, or
Yeah.
excuse me, on Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So tell everybody how they can reach all y'all social media.
yeah, today actually we have it's a Memorial Day kind of concept. We have a bunch of or several
Combat veterans.
several combat veterans on, and we're going to play a patriotic song, and we're going to be, reverent to the weekend and talk to some combat vets, and it should be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be interesting because these guys they're all amazing guys, of course, but they're not used to being on.
Yeah, this is probably something they don't
They've
normally
never
do.
done.
Yeah.
None of them might have done anything like
Yeah.
that. So it'll be a cool thing. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Love that.
Love that.
We really enjoyed having y'all on the show today, and we look forward to having y'all back.
Love
Well,
to.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
love to come back, guys.
It was wonderful meeting you guys.
I'm curious to
Same
see what
here.
the background's going to be next time.
Yeah.
After we
kind
can
of stay.
switch it
We
up,
can't.
yeah.
Like I even have.
Oh yeah, he's got an example here.
Yeah, I even have. You'll recognize this one.
Oh yeah.
Paris.
All right.
Nice.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, that's
that
the Nashville
With
skyline.
the bell
Yeah.
south.
At least
That building. Yeah.
And then, of course, where we live here,
Oh yeah.
Savannah.
Savannah.
Savannah, you said?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which we're planning on actually moving out to Nashville. Soon.
Oh, good. Well, it's a great place to live.
Well, come on.
We're actually visiting Memorial Day weekend.
We are. We're heading
Oh,
this
wow.
Friday.
Very cool.
Awesome.
But what sucks is we got to come back Monday, so it's only going to be a 3-night
just the
thing.
weekend.
But then we're coming back for our big trip at the end of June, be June 29th to July 7th. We're going to be staying there 7 nights.
Yeah, so super
Hey,
excited.
we'll let the police station know ahead of time, okay?
All right. We really enjoyed it.
We did.
Thank
Thanks
you,
so
guys.
much.
Guys, thank you.
Thanks.
You all have a great day.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.